personally go now onto the websites and, do the competitive analysis, blah, 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 which I'm already doing. I tell ChatGPT to do it. So you would sit with me and you do an audit or a discovery, whatever, as I would as a consultant. So I would sit in front of the SME and I'd go, right, where are you? Like, what's your business? Who's your competitors? What are your products? How do you differentiate? Blah, 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 blah. And from that, work out what their needs are. So in the same way, I have these growth tiers because my whole pluck is I'm going to grow your business. You're not going to talk to me unless I can improve your bottom line. Yeah, and how am I going to do that? I'm going to sit and find out who you are, blah, 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 and which is exactly what you're doing. And I think that's gold.
So, okay, so you're saying that I need to reframe the messaging as more
just tell me that.
Sort of a consulting, like a sort of advisory consulting, because that is what it is. I mean, the pathway won't change, right? But every single thing that we work on is specifically designed for your world.
Exactly. So like Cheryl, that's so amazing.
Like my Cheryl, who I've just taken this through. I did my MBA with her the year before you. She's in the film industry. She specializes in Africa and the Middle East. So her entire pathway was designed specifically for a solo entrepreneur in the film industry who specializes in those markets. And we doubled down on like 3 use cases for her, right? Research, script, editing, writing, and treatment, and then productivity and administrative stuff that she's burdened with every single day. And so she walked away with a playbook, if you like, a physical workbook. It's physical because that is a deliverable from me in addition to the modules. So she has a workbook with all of the techniques, all of the frameworks, all of the examples that are specific to her world, with instructions on how to execute on those. All of the
just
templates.
Flipping amazing.
Yeah, it's a lot of fucking work. Here's my problem, Di, is I cannot make this work with individuals. I need to get into small businesses or medium businesses where I get the buy-in from either an HR person or the CEO who truly believes in the cultural and behavioral shift that is needed learning generative AI and making it part of just a daily part of our lives of how we're using it, because it is like speaking a new language.
But could your message then not be, I'll come into your company and I'll help your people, pick a department, use AI to optimize their skills and their experience for better delivery in their role. That's what you do.
Yes.
So doesn't really matter what department, they could decide, or maybe HR. I don't know who you would talk to, and then that would be, that's the next thing, you would need to decide.
It's either HR or it's like a key decision maker there, or it could be head of culture or, whatever. It depends on the, every organization has a slightly different org structure.
Yeah, because you would want, if it's SMEs, they're not going to have the kind of money to be able to afford it. So you're probably slightly above that, where they've got some budgets and are prepared to invest.
But it's not corporate. It's not big corporate, because they already have their own training going on.
Yeah. No,
and they're not interested in that. They're like, we just want quick and scalable and tips and techniques, and they must just figure it out themselves.
They send you on an Excel course. That's basically
right. That's right. Or they're like, hey, get certified in Google prompting or whatever, AWS prompting or IBM prompting. I mean, there's millions and millions and millions of courses out there. And believe me, I've done most of them. And they are repetitive and elementary and generic. You know, and they do not take the individual's specific circumstances and use cases into account.
No, exactly. And that is such a powerful proposition that you have, which will differentiate you. So I think that's gold. I keep saying gold, but it is. So you'd have to find some company that's SMEs. Yeah, probably an SME. So it's not a startup and it's not a corporate. So it's somewhere in between. And those people, you could probably talk to the managing director or the owner or the whatever, because they would be the ones that would probably sign off on that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. It's a tricky conversation though, because my experience is that, and I have spoken to a couple of people, and I had a really interesting discussion earlier this week with William Kirsch. I told you about him. Now, these guys are CEOs. They run big organizations. When they think, and quite honestly, they don't really know what AI is. They think that AI is some kind of platform like ChatGPT, you know, or any of these models, and that you just go in there and you ask questions, and you know, it's a one and done, and that's it, and you get the answer and you go on with your lives. They have like no concept
how it's integrated or can be integrated into everything.
Well, also that's an important point, right? Is that I feel like there's a link that's missing in my narrative, which is around what does it mean for your business? What does it mean for your workers? What does it actually mean for them to become fluent? Like, how does that impact you? And how does that actually help you to grow your business and to survive and grow into the future that's going to be all about AI?
Yeah, well, I mean, it comes into is productivity, it's
creativity, strategic thinking, research.
Whatever end result or deliverable that person has. So it's like, how are they going to hit their KPIs, and to what extent can AI enable them to do that?
Yes. Okay. So let's take you as an example with Join the Dots. So you know, your thinking is very clear. You've got a very strong value proposition. You're clear about who your audience is. You have a delivery framework that's clearly mapped out, and you've done it step by step. It would be very easy for you to take that and to translate it into a kind of a delivery methodology, because you kind of, it's almost designed that way anyways.
Yeah.
And it'd be very easy for you to build templates around that to help you to scale, right? So you just think about that, and that's not even an exhaustive list of all of the outputs from what you've done here. You know, even putting a credentials document together from this and doing it in a creative way. In every single one of those use cases, you could come to me, you could say, okay, I want to use AI to help to bring this to life. What are those key areas that I can use it to bring it to life? Let's take your brand story as the example. And this is like just one thing, one tiny thing. I would say to you, yeah, go ahead, you know, build a PowerPoint deck, blah, blah, blah. You know, we've seen a million fucking PowerPoint decks. It's necessary. But what about if we went in to Gemini or ChatGPT and we said, this is my business. I want you to create a logo for me. And I want you give it a little bit of options. You give it, you know, the kind of color palette that you're thinking about. You give it the style you want to evoke, and it comes up with a couple of options. You find the logo you want, and you iterate with it to get it to the point that you like. And then you say something like, now I want you to help me to build a mood board or a storyboard. create 5 separate images based on what you know about the brand. And, I want you to do it in photorealistic or sketch or whatever you feel kind of, or connect the dots, whatever that means for you. It creates the 5 images. You choose the images. You create a video out of those images. And then you create your own music track. And it's, the lyrics are join the dots. And it's all of like the little the lyrics that make up. And it's like a 40-second audio. And you blend it all together in Canva or iMovie. And voila. There's your credentials that you have designed yourself just by actually, half an hour later, it's done.
Well, that would be great if I could use Canva and the other. So yes,
but that's my point, right? Exactly. That's my point. So it's not just about chat. It's also about, look, based on what you are trying to achieve. In that case, that's kind of like a creative way of working, but it's also productivity. So what are the tools that we're going to be working with here? We're going to be working with chat. We're going to be working with Canva, and we're going to be working with a music generation tool or an audio generation tool. And by the way, that's actually now all built into Gemini. You can now actually create your own song. It's a new capability that got launched this week. It's called Lydia or something like that.
Oh, who knew?
Who knew?
So essentially, I would say to you, Sharice, I need to market my business, and I need collateral, for want of a better word, to do that. And then you say, well, this is the, use this and this and this tool and create what you've just said now, a song.
Yeah, I would take you through, take you through how to do it yourself, so that, because collateral is not a one and done.
No, it isn't.
In time to come, you're going to want to build case studies. You're going to want to maybe even create product collateral, one pages. I don't know, like depending on how your business evolves, you might want to create industry specific materials, whatever it is. So it's about saying, let's take this, let's do a deep dive. Let's look at like what the priorities are for you right now in terms of bringing this to life. And then we develop the program. Oh, my glasses are making me crazy. They keep talking to me.
Tell them to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, shut the fuck up. Thank you, Meta. Okay, thank you. Go away now. So that's kind of like one way of working, with somebody, is saying, look, I can really truly like help you to put this thing on steroids, or put you on steroids. And I'm going to teach you how to bring this thing to life. And those skills are something that's not only specific to bringing it to life, but ongoing in terms of like your marketing and your visibility and your strategic thinking. And yes, I know
which means you don't go away. You're not a once-off wonder. You are someone who's there at every step that I may need assistance.
Well, I'd love that, to have some kind of ongoing kind of, retainer arrangement with a client. But that's where I see a big opportunity, is because as you're now starting to learn right now, and as per the little exercise we did on Notebook LM, you don't know what you don't know. When you start getting into these tools and you start executing on use cases, it's a whole nother world. And it is so mind-blowing.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the parallel in terms of join the dots is I'll sit in front of a client and they don't know that they need a brand positioning and a differentiator, and they don't even know properly who their competitors are. So they will go, I need to increase my sales. You need to send emails out for me. I'm going to go, no. We need to wind it back, because you actually don't know that you need these things to be in place. And that's exactly what you're saying, but you're telling me this in an AI context. So it's absolutely
100%, because, people immediately think all I need to do is X. Everyone wants a quick fix.
Exactly. And I'm saying that ordinarily consultants would do all the work and they would hand it over and they would walk away. So I could stay on board, and I have done that previously, so I'm at their disposal to help with execution, but train them to skill them up, which is what you are doing, I think, really could be part of my my offering, and with AI part of that. I mean, it's not fundamental because I'm not a trainer and I don't want to do training. I would farm it out.
No, but we then have a partnership, like a collaboration,
exactly.
Where if there are certain aspects of the engagement where, AI can either help with the automation of it, or the productivity
content
of it, or the generation of the templates, or, I mean, if you have a look at your delivery framework, or you look at your offering and you look at what you're actually delivering to a client, like what are the specific deliverables, how can it fit in? How can it help? So, I mean, really, the way that one can view it is, for a small business person, or even a medium business person, it's like, how can you use it internally for your own operations, strategically, creatively, and from a production perspective? And then how do you use it for your clients, if you can? I want to tell you, I don't want to get into onboarding client data. So forget it. I don't want to deal with client data, end client data. So whatever it is for the client. Like, in other words, if you came to me and you said, look, I've got a client, I want to build a CRM system for them, or they have a CRM system and they want me to do work on the CRM and, blah, 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 blah. I would say, yeah, absolutely, one can do that, but you don't want to get involved in having a platform where you have to ingest their data. It's like, that's what I'm saying. I don't want liability.
No.
For any of that sort of thing.
No.
They must use a HubSpot or a Salesforce or whatever.
Oh, totally. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what I would be recommending as part of my service, is that there are certain things that I cannot and will not do. It's just physically impossible. I don't even know that I should be, I can send out emails with MailChimp as a start for them, just to help them, but it's not going to be my core offering.
Yeah. Exactly. So, no, I think your feedback is absolutely valid. And, what you're seeing, and it's good for me to hear this, is the result of like a rejigged positioning based on where I started out.
Yeah, because you know what, the level of confidence and kind of comfort in one's environment, that leadership embodiment, that is a byproduct of the process and of the value that you add. It isn't part of your proposition. It's, apart from the fact that, there are deliverables, there are hard deliverables that you'll be able to provide them with, as I say, meeting KPIs, being productive, but there is this holistic sense of well-being. But as you say, companies are not going to care about that. It's hard enough getting them to see a proper business coach to help them lead their people and not treat them like shit, because
this is absolutely true.
People don't like to invest in that. It's like, Nandi, she's skilled in change management. Do you think she can get into a company that's prepared to pay for somebody to actually manage change during an acquisition of another company? Not a fuck. They give them project managers.
Yeah.
That's what they give the people, So she's now segued into, she does Enneagram training.
Very cool. Very cool.
She's very well
you're
versed in that.
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right, because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, what people care about, what CEOs care about, what decision makers care about, is money and profit. They don't give a shit about soft skills and culture.
And how you feel.
we thought we were moving in that direction at one stage, but it's gone in the complete opposite direction. And so, yeah, let me bring on a project management who'll be able to tell me where to cut, where to slim, where to pare down, where to gain efficiencies.
You
I
want to
don't
tell
care
people
about
where their
change
new
management.
desks are.
Yeah, exactly. And by the way, how do we get out of our current lease?
Yeah, yeah, yes, we're going to go with hot desking. So sorry for you, you haven't got a desk
We're going to
where
go
you
with
can
hot
own your
desking, but
space.
we still expect you to come in 5 days a week. No, that's WPP. Exactly.
Do you know what happened to Jackie yesterday? They have to go into the office because this is again stupid HR crap. There's nobody in marketing in Dublin. They're all in the UK. So she sits like Stocksila Leon anyway there in the building. So I take her to the office to work because I can. I'm the glorified taxi, housekeeper, shopper, cook.
Yeah, I know that role so well. Yeah.
Anyway, so I
Glorified
drop her off and I'm going.
laundry maid, bed
Oh,
maker.
totally. Absolutely.
Yeah, no.
So I drop her and I'm busy driving down the road and she phones me and she says, "Can you please come back? There's no desk for me." Do you know what HR said? HR said, you should go into one of the meeting rooms. So basically, I'm like, and I wanted to say to Jackie, you know what, as human beings, we want to own our space. And this is what they don't understand with this hot desking is you want to put up a picture of your partner and have your little tsatskas around you. That's how we are. We nest. So what are you saying to me as an employee? As I actually don't belong. I'm very dispensable because you're not even allowing me to create a space where I can feel like there's some life in my tenure in this company.
Yeah, no, it's transactional. That's what it is. It's totally transactional. And the downstream consequences are not thought about as in, well, what does that do to my productivity? What does that do to my contribution? And by the way, just trying to find your stupid hot desk, like, eats into 40 minutes of your day. And
no, exactly.
The whole thing is so ridiculous.
And setting up your stuff. Anyway, I have to take Aaron somewhere at 3. So let me.
So look, what did I want to say to you? Thank you. That was very, very, very helpful. I'm going to definitely make some changes.
Well, yes, it's just to re-articulate it. And what you're saying is from the perspective of a business person, what is the deliverable or KPI or hardwired output that he's going to want to see before he even pays you €1? So if you started from that perspective, the other thing that I was curious about is in your modules you talk about only notebook LM, and I thought, why just that, and why did you highlight that? As if, because I tell you what that did for me is it says that's all you work with, and that's not what you're telling me, Cherise. You're telling me that you've got expertise across a wide range of AI tools that you would bring to solve the need of the person that you're sitting across the desk from. So I thought Notebook LM, as valuable as it is, pigeonholes you into something that isn't going to solve all of my needs.
No, it's a good point. It's a good point.
And then the other thing which I loved is this, and I didn't again get this out, the AI Assistant Lab, is you started to talk to me about how I can build something that will help me. Okay. And that needs to come through very clearly, because I think that is so amazing. You're going to help me. It's not an agent. You're helping me build an app or something that
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Like an app, an assistant,
because I think
a
that's
web
what you
page.
said. You deploy, a working assistant that's easy, like no code tools.
Yeah, exactly. That's module 4, where you build an assistant. Yeah. A digital twin or anything else that you feel is going to help you.
So I think, look, you've got it there, and what you offer is fantastic. It's just about making that come through loud and clear. And
Mm-hmm.
when I sat down, I wrote that brand position or that positioning statement. It
Mm-hmm.
forced me to be very clear about,
Yeah.
what exactly am I going to get?
Yeah, no, and it's good. It's tight. It's it's tight. I think
Well, I'm not going to
it
lie, Chad wrote
flows.
most of it.
No, look, I can see that, but you can also see when it's written something that is completely robotic and
It
like
is.
lacks
It's got no soul.
soul and
But that's
and
not for a
lacks like
client to
insight.
see anyway. That's for me just to, I mean, I love the way it articulated it. So it was very clear to me.
Mm.
And yeah, it's not my language and I wouldn't write like that, but I don't care because
No,
it's,
but still, I mean, I think it's very, very helpful. The way you bring it to life in a creative way is where you start to generate images and you start to tell it the feeling that you want to evoke. And, and even though it's helping you, you're actually kind of directing it. You're the conductor of the orchestra. You're just actually bringing beautiful music together from the musicians and from the instruments.
yeah.
But, you're bringing it together. You're actually kind of creating all of this stuff and pulling it all together. And that's what's so beautiful is like you're saying, hey, you're not outsourcing your creativity. You're actually making use of it. You're curating all of these tools that are available to you to create something completely different and unique.
Yes, yeah, except you're absolutely right. But this is your premise, is that people, okay, so me, what I know is to outsource, right? Because that's the old model. If you don't know how to do it, you find somebody who can, because you don't have the expertise and there's no way of learning it, okay? I can't build a website or populate it, so I outsource it. The new, I'm telling you stuff you already know, but I'm just articulating for myself. It is the new way is I can give you tools that means that you can do it for yourself really quickly, easily, cheaply, so that you don't have to outsource it. So you can build your website or write your copy or, design it. And that's the new normal.
That's the new normal. And so, but it's not, but you said it right up front, which is when we historically outsourced, we outsourced the thinking in addition to the execution. Here, you're outsourcing the execution. You're not outsourcing the thinking because you're telling it how you want to show up, the feeling, the style, and it's based on what you've written in the first place. So it's different. It's a different way of thinking. It's like a mind shift that
So,
you have to
so
make
my
people aware of.
potential clients will hire me to do the thinking, right?
Yeah.
And guide them in terms of the executing, but I would outsource it. What you would do is come in and show them how they can execute it without using my third party. I mean, from my perspective, I want to offer, outsourcing it because then I can add markup and continue to make money as, as it goes down the funnel.
Look, and then you can continue to build a roadmap with them for sort of, ongoing capability building, if that's the right word.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
that's what you want, right?
But if I walk away and I say, all right, I'm leaving you, here's all the thinking, well, if you go and execute it, they're just gonna, they can't do anything. So either I execute it using third party, or I have someone like you come in and go, look, it's easy peasy with AI. This is what you do. And that's where I saw synergy, but I wanted to make sure that I understood your business model and, who you would be targeting. And I think that's why I wanted to talk to you today, is to say, float that past you, and then one can do, well, I don't know, let's not take it, I mean, obviously we can take it, where does that go next? Because I'm not ready yet to start doing cold canvassing, however go about getting clients. You are at the point already where you're marketing your business and you're getting clients on board. I'm not ready yet. I haven't got my whole
I'm not really. I mean, that's my challenge, right? I mean, it's sort of stop, start, stop, start, stop. I mean, I'm not. I mean, it's like, I I have to do that, and that's my biggest challenge right
But that's
now.
where I can help you, because
Well,
I'll be
look,
doing exactly the same thing. And I think it starts with, Therese, who are you speaking to? Who are you going to send an email to? If you go onto LinkedIn and you give it a whole lot of filters, and you need to be very clear. You're saying to me, it's too time consuming to have work with individuals. So now you're going to go, all right, what am I going to say to an SME? And I'm going to send an email to the MD. What am I going to say to him that's going to make him go, shit, I need this person? And then, how you go about doing that. Maybe it's not an email, which is very old. I don't know. However,
yeah, that's a whole separate discussion. But I mean, your puzzle example was genius. I think it's really creative and cool, and maybe it is something fun, like a quiz or a puzzle or like a little New York Times mini, or something, a Wordle.
Exactly. A knock and drop. Nobody uses it, and if you're wanting to. Anyway, we're getting into that, but what I think is for you to re-articulate your proposition, your real benefit on a sort of a hardwired delivery basis, but very importantly, who you're talking to.
Yeah. No, it's
and why they're going to spend $1 with you, because it's going to be hard to separate them from their money. So
it is, and they're going to say to me, I already use AI. I have this platform. Everyone's using this platform.
And you can go, actually, there's a whole lot of things that you could be using AI for that you don't know about, which is what you said to me right up front. So yeah, that's what I would do. So maybe we should have when you've had I'm continuing with Join the Dots, and I'd love to have the conversation with you about how you can add value to me in this process.
Likewise.
And how I can hopefully add value to you in terms of marketing your business, or where we can work together and how we would articulate that, blah blah blah. But
no,
I'm
absolutely.
still in the early phases, as you can see, of being massaging and being very clear about what I'm going to offer and how I'm going to do it. And
no, I think it's brilliant because I mean, you're focusing on one vertical, and so it makes it very, very clear to articulate your offering. Yeah, I mean, it's a world we both understand. Obviously, I'm not as deep in it as you are. But I really think we can help each other, and quite honestly, it's not easy doing it by yourself. Like, 1 + 1 = 3. And 1 + 1 = 1. So it's like 1 + nothing = 1. So it's
even if it's just having somebody to speak to about it, I don't have anyone to talk to about AI and all of these kinds of things. That's why I'm bugging you now with things that because there just isn't anybody who practically is able to talk about it and its value and whatever. So unfortunately, you've now got me.
I'm thrilled. This is the highlight of my day, just so you know.
I'm glad.
No, really. And it's a good segue. I know you have to go, but do you know a woman called Diane Epstein?
No.
Okay, it doesn't matter. She's also from the ad industry, but she's been living in New York for many, 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 many years. Anyway, I know her, and she has started, she was let go recently from Dentsu. She's a strategic planner. She has started a group of like-minded people, all kind of our age. We meet every third Friday, and we talk AI. And it's pretty casual, very smart people, mostly from the industry, who are not really in the industry anymore, and all kind of entrepreneurs trying to do their own thing, all bringing a very interesting perspective on how they're using AI in their worlds. And I thought you would be like a really great addition to the group if it's something you're interested in.
Oh, no, I'd love that. I really, really would. It's just because it's lonely. Sitting on your own trying to work all of this out, and as I say, there's nobody to talk to about these things. So
okay, great. So I'm going to put your name forward, And look out for an email from Diane. It's a
Okay.
good bunch. There's a guy, a creative guy, a guy from media, me, 2 strat planners, and then
As long as
this
I'm not
guy.
supposed to be a buff, because I'm not.
It's not about that. No one's a buff. It's just we're all finding our way in the space, and we
Okay.
all recognize that it's important, and we're just sharing ideas, thoughts, concepts, what we've read, what we're working on, how it's improved something that we're working on. So it's very cash.
Okay.
But I
Cool.
think
No,
you'd
I'd like
like
that.
it.
Sounds good.
Cool. Okay.
So if you like, I mean, it's entirely up to you. And I hope in this conversation, I haven't told my grandmother how to suck eggs. So,
This is so valuable because I've been
okay.
scratching my head and I'm too close to it. I've been scratching my head for the last little while. And I realize now where some of the gaps are. So I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater.
No,
but
no, absolutely. It's a real, you know what it is that you're offering. It's about articulating it in a way that's very clear, very differentiating, and with some very, very clear key deliverables, benefits that are, that you can quantify, if you like. So you know what, if you want to spend some time doing that and then bounce it off me, let's do that.
I will. I'm going to do some work this weekend, just putting some of my revised thoughts together. I'm going to probably do a new positioning doc, and I'd love you to give me your feedback once I've done that.
Only too happy to.
Good. Okay, I'm going to let you go.
Yeah.
Thank you. Please tell your wife she owes me an intro, even if it's just to meet the guy and validate my thinking with him,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's a very, very bright, strategic man.
Yeah.
So,
that's also my other priority right now is networking with the right people.
no, exactly.
The right people. I'm tired of sort of spending money on coffees with dunces.
Yeah,
So
I'm with you. Anyway, have a great weekend. I'm seeing our mutual friend on Tuesday, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, give her a big hug from me.
I will. Okay, cheers.
Bye.
Bye.